Yes.
Okay.
You guys are, it's recording.
Okay.
Hi, good morning,
Good morning.
Tila. So what I want to do, I want to take a few minutes, I want to go through your application for admission. I want to make sure you have the type of neuropathy we treat, and how I'm going to do that is I'm going to ask you some additional questions about your symptoms you're experiencing, get a little more information for doctor, and then she's going to do an exam, we'll find out exactly what we have going on, okay? All right, so first question I do have is, are you a diabetic?
Let's say yes.
Okay, are you checking your blood sugar on a daily basis?
No.
Yes, do not know. When was the last time you checked it?
Like 3 days ago.
What was your reading 3 days ago?
124.
124. Okay, are you currently taking any medication? You taking metformin, glipizide, insulin, anything of that nature?
No.
So Tila, do you have any ulcerations or any infections that we don't know about?
Yes.
You do. Where are the ulcerations?
I have an ingrown on my toe.
Ingrown on toe. How long have you had that?
About a month.
Is it slow to heal?
Yeah, it's just, pussy and just doesn't want to get better.
I'm sorry, that's not a good sign. It's circulatory. Have you ever experienced, or have you ever gone through chemotherapy or radiation?
No.
Okay, good. In the next 2 months, do you have any travel plans or any surgery scheduled?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
What do you have? Talk to me.
I'm going to go to Oregon.
You're going to Oregon?
Yeah.
That sounds fun. How long are you going to be gone for that trip?
2 days.
2 days. And when are you leaving?
In October.
October, okay. That shouldn't be a concern. No pacemaker, no defibrillator, correct?
Correct.
Okay, have you had any major surgeries in the past to speak of?
Yes.
What have you had done, Tila?
I had my tonsils taken out.
Okay, so tonsillectomy. Are you taking any cholesterol medication currently?
Yes, but I don't remember the name of it. It's a blue and gray pill.
Blue and gray pill. Approximately how long have you been taking that?
About 2 years.
About 2 years. Let me grab this. Should have grabbed that beforehand. We may have to do this. Any major trauma to speak of? Any accidents, falls, car accidents, any of that nature?
I fell last week.
You fell last week.
Yeah.
What was the circumstance?
I was going to get something from the fridge and I just fell.
Just up and fell.
Yeah, I was halfway there and my leg just kind of buckled on me.
Wow, that's not normal. Are you okay?
Yeah, it took a long time because I had to crawl back to the recliner and then I had to pull myself from the ground to the recliner.
Wow.
But I got back up.
Yeah, that's a scary thing though, because the falls, it takes one fall to change your life, or to end your life. So it's a very scary thing. That's definitely not normal. Is this the first fall you've had?
No, I've fallen before, but it's not that bad. Like I just fall every once in a while. It's not that bad.
One fall's bad. I mean, falling's definitely not normal. What would happen if you hit your head, or if no one was home and you weren't able to get up?
Well, I was able to get up though.
This time. I want to cover this quickly, give you a little more explanation about what we're looking for. If you look at this top diagram, this is what a healthy nerve should look like. The small piece on the inside, that's the actual nerve. That's what conducts your signal. Then you have live tissue on the outside. What do you think that does?
Keeps it warm.
Well, it insulates. You think about an electrical cord in the house. You've got that rubber coating on the outside that insulates that cord. Without that insulation, what would happen to that cord?
It would get cold.
You think about it, if you plugged it in and there was no insulation, it would spark, it would short, it could catch fire. So this insulates and protects your nerve. Red lines, what do you think those might be?
Blood?
Exactly. Every nerve needs oxygen, every nerve needs nutrients, and that comes from the circulation, comes from the blood flow. What do you see different from the first to the second?
There's bumps in this one.
You see the blood vessels? They begin to shrivel up a little bit. When the blood flow begins to shrivel up, it in turn begins to starve that nerve. That's when that nerve begins to react with that occasional numbness or tingling or balance issues, things of that nature. You talked about falling last week. it continues, it worsens. What do you see different from the second to the third?
I think this one got skinnier.
You see that nerve exposure. That's a great point. I'm glad you pointed that out. There's very little blood flow. There's very little blood flow at this point. That nerve, again, at this point, it's under a lot of stress. It's not doing very well. Your nerve's entire job is to send and receive signals. It communicates with the brain. How well do you think that nerve's communicating with the brain?
Not very well.
Not very well. Think about if that was the nerve that controlled your balance. What's your balance gonna look like? And unfortunately, it continues on. If you see the bottom one, what do you see missing on that one?
There's none of the right.
Exactly. That's again a great point. Once the blood flow's gone, the underlying nerve cell dies. At this point, there's not a regeneration process available. I've had people come in at this point to seek treatment. What do you think feet look like at that point?
Cold.
They're cold, feet are black and blue. I've seen some very, very bad things. And unfortunately, at that point, I can't help. There's no one to help. What do you think your options are once the blood flow's gone?
Well, then you probably just, you might be cold sometimes and.
Well, even beyond that, once the blood flow's gone, the underlying cell dies, everything begins to die. There's only one option at that point.
What's that?
It's the point of amputation. And Tila, I'm not saying you're losing anything. We have potentially what could get you there. So that's why I want to go through, I wanted to explain what we were looking at and get a little more information.
Well, mine isn't that bad though. I mean, I just fall sometimes.
Yeah, falling at all is a scary thing, and neuropathy is labeled a progressive and degenerative disease, which, are you familiar with what that means?
No.
It continues to get worse over time, and it doesn't stay stagnant. Think of other diseases labeled progressive degenerative, things like Parkinson's disease, things like dementia, things like cancer. You get these and they just continue to worsen over time, and neuropathy is the same type of disease. So it does get worse, unfortunately. I do have some questions about symptoms you're experiencing. I'm gonna run through these quickly. Are you experiencing any numbness?
Sometimes.
Where do you experience that?
Sometimes in my right foot, it kind of, it just, like it falls asleep sometimes. I sit down and then it'll fall asleep.
Okay, and just the right foot only?
I mean, every once in a while the left one, but not as bad as the right one. I mean, well, the right one, it just does it more.
It's a little more advanced right now. And when did you first notice this happening?
Oh, it's been a while.
What would you say a while is?
I don't know, it's been a while. Maybe 3 years.
Wow. That's a long time, and the sensation, it happens every now and then?
No, yeah, it doesn't happen all the time. It's just, sometimes. It's like if I sit down for too long, then my foot just falls asleep.
How frequently would you say? In a 1 month period, how often did you say you experience it?
I mean, it happens a few times, I don't know. Because it's when I sit down to watch my television show and then my foot just goes numb sometimes. But if I hit it or rub it, it'll kind of, then I'll try to go like this with my toes and that kind of.
What do you think that does?
I think, it kind of makes it to where I can feel it again. It's not too bad.
That's stimulating blood flow. When you rub it or you squeeze the foot, it stimulates the blood flow because it's not getting enough blood flow from what it sounds from what you're describing. Do you get the tingling sensation ever, that pins and needles feeling?
Yeah.
Where do you experience that at?
And the same foot.
How long has that been going on?
Not as long. Maybe like a year.
So you've had numbness for 3 years, and then in the past year you picked up the tingling as well.
Yeah, but it's not as bad. It doesn't happen as much.
And again, neuropathy being progressive and degenerative, do you think it's going to stay that way?
No, probably not.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I know this is tough to talk about, Tila, going through these things. Have you ever experienced any burning sensation in the feet or legs, hands or arms?
No, not really, no.
What about cold? Cold feet?
Yeah, I have to wear 2 socks sometimes.
You're wearing 2 socks.
Well, just, sometimes at night or in the early morning. In the day it's fine, but they'll get really cold, and so.
Symptoms do get worse at night with neuropathy. our bodies are designed when we lay horizontally, our blood naturally pools towards the heart. So if you have a circulatory issue in your extremities, it does get worse at night. So that's not a good indicator. How long's the coldness been going on that you notice that it's not normal cold, that you're wearing double socks at night?
That's probably been about a year too.
So last year, things have picked up a little speed, it sounds like.
Yeah, maybe, but I mean, it's not too bad, you know, it's, if I wear 2 socks, it's fine. You know, like I said, if I kind of go like this with my toes, it kind of, it gets better.
But does it come back?
Yeah.
So it's not going away, it's just temporary. And when you first noticed this 3 years ago, how often was it happening then?
Oh, I don't remember. I don't remember.
Are you noticing it more frequently now?
Yeah, but it's also, you know, it's gonna start being winter too, soon too, so
That's
it gets colder.
even with the numbness and the tingling.
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple more questions I have for you. Do you experience any pain? Any shooting pain, electrical pain, anything of that nature?
I mean, I have, but it's not a lot, no, like, I just, no.
So you have in the past, what type of pain do you experience?
You know, sometimes I'll wake up and I get cramps. It feels almost kind of like a Charlie horse, so it just,
Where do you experience those? Those are miserable.
it's bad, yeah. It'll wake me up, and then, you know, sometimes I'll try to take a pill to go back to sleep, because it'll hurt too bad if I try to massage it, it won't go away.
What kind of pill?
I don't remember the name of it, I got it from my doctor, it's a white one.
Is it gabapentin? Does that sound familiar?
I'm not sure, I have a lot of different pills they give me.
You're taking a lot of medication.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I don't like to hear that either. How often, when did you first notice the cramping?
Oh, that hasn't been that long, that's been like a few months.
A few months. So it's a bad pattern. 3 years, 1 year, a few months, things are picking up. Do you ever experience what they call hypersensitivity? Easy way to think of it is some patients talk about they pull the blankets up on their feet at night and that bothers them. Just that touch irritates their skin.
Oh, yeah.
Is that why you're wearing the socks as well?
Yeah, cause if the blanket moves, sometimes it'll wake me up, or it'll bother me, and then my foot, I can't, you know, I'll try to go like this with it, but it'll just, that feeling, that won't go away.
Can't be touched. When did you first notice this happening?
It hasn't been that long, maybe a few months.
I don't like that. Okay, a few more questions. Tila, I'm assuming you've seen your doctor at this point. Have you done that?
Yeah.
Did you see your which doctor did you see? Primary care?
My regular doctor.
And what did they recommend? What did they say?
She gave me some medicine, you know, she said it wasn't, you know, she just gave me some medicine.
Just gave you some medicine, and the medicine masks the problems, or masks the symptoms. So, since you were prescribed the medication, have you noticed things have gotten better or worse?
Well, I can sleep when it, you know, when it's too much, I can sleep, so I'll take, like, if I wake up and, you know, if I get the Charlie horse, I can take, my medicine, and then I can go, in about half an hour, I can go back to sleep.
Medicine knocks you back out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right now, the symptoms we're talking about, you're dealing with a considerable amount, or is this affecting any of your day-to-day activities?
I mean, no, not really, I don't think it's that bad.
You don't think it's that bad?
Mm-mm.
Are there things you're doing, or you can't do now that you used to do? What do you used to, like, what did you used to do for fun?
I mean, I would go play golf and go for walks.
And you're still doing that?
And I mean, no, not really.
Why is that?
Just cause, you know, it's a little harder to move around now, you know, cause I'm getting older, so it's not as easy to get around.
So it's not, you don't feel as mobile, you don't feel, what was the issue with golf, why'd you stop playing golf?
Oh, it was too hard just to, you know, lug around the big bag, and, you know, it's a lot of moving.
That's not a good thing, that you're not able to do the things you used to do that you had fun with, the golfing and the walking and that sort of thing. And again, that's not just a normal aging thing either. I want that to be clear. Neuropathy is not an age-related issue. I know a lot of doctors have told their patients you're just getting older. It's nonsense. So, a few more questions. What is your main concern for us today?
Well, I just came to see, you know, what it was. I got a invitation in the mail to go to dinner, and the guy said, you know, that it might be something serious, and you know, it's sometimes because, you know, it's getting winter, my feet are gonna get cold, really cold, and so I just want to see what happened. But I don't have a lot of money, and you know, they said the insurance won't cover it, so I don't know.
Right now, there's no charge. This is an interview process. I'm trying to see if you're a good fit for our clinic. You do have indeed what we treat. So we'll figure everything out together. With the dealing with these symptoms you're talking about, where do you think this leads to?
Well, I think my feet are gonna get colder.
Anything beyond that?
I mean, it might get a little harder to move, but
Even with the videos you've watched, the things we've talked about with neuropathy being progressive and it just continuing to worsen over time, and what can actually happen. What happens when you get to this point?
I don't know. It's gonna be bad.
What would that be to you?
I won't be able to walk at all.
Is that a future you're willing to accept?
No, but I don't have a lot of money right now.
Okay, we're not concerned about money right now, we're concerned about your health. That's all we're here to talk about today. If you do indeed have the type of neuropathy we treat, and we feel we're able to help you, are you able to be here a few times a week for a few weeks?
Well, it depends on the times.
That's fine, just in general.
I mean, I use Access to get around sometimes. That's how I got here today, so.
Access is fantastic, I have a lot of patients that use Access. Last question for you, Tila. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, what is your motivation level to get this taken care of?
Oh, like a 9.
9. Good. All right, Tila, thank you very much. I'm gonna step out, review this with Dr. Akavan. She's gonna come in and do a quick exam for us. You can go ahead and take off your shoes and socks and roll your pant legs up to your knees, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's gotta be rough.